my gorgeous besties. Welcome to today's video. Welcome to another reading vlog. I honestly feel like it's been so long since I've done a reading vlog and I'm so excited to be doing this one. I actually asked over on my Instagram a couple days ago what reading vlog you would most like to see, and I gave 3 options, and literally when I tell you that they were all equal and I had a few of you guys DMing me saying that you'd love to see all of them at some point, so I basically decided to do the one that I'm kind of most in the mood to do right now, and that's reading my most anticipated books that are currently on my physical TBR. And I felt like this one was a good one to do at the minute because I just feel so much excitement about some of the books that I got, and especially since Christmas, since I have new books on my TBR, I just feel like it's so exciting. It's so exciting, and there's so many that I'd absolutely love to get to. So that's what we're going to do. We're going to be reading my most anticipated books on my physical TBR, and the first book for this video I've kind of already decided. Hear me out, hear me out. So for Christmas, I was so kindly bought The Prison Healer by Lynette Noni, and this was the second book that I picked up this year, and I loved it. I loved it. When I tell you that this series has become my new obsession, I literally can't stop thinking about it. I'm obsessed. I'm literally obsessed. It's become one of my new favourite book series, honestly. I think this is on par for me with Powerless, which is saying something. If not, I slightly prefer The Prison Healer. Who would have seen the day coming? Who would have seen? I don't know what she's put in these books, but I'm obsessed with them. If you have this book on your TBR right now, sitting there looking at you, this is your sign to go and pick it up and read it, because I just love it. I absolutely love it. So the reason that I'm even talking about this is because this was my most anticipated book on my TBR when I got it for Christmas, just because I had a feeling that I would really, really like it. So after I read this, I went straight into The Gilded Cage, which is the second book in the series. When I tell you that I literally want to read nothing but this whole series now, like I can't even imagine reading anything else at this point, that's when you know it's good. That's when you know. I finished this one yesterday, and best believe I literally went straight away and ordered the third one, which is the final one in the series. And when I tell you I do not know what I'm going to do with myself after I finish this series. I genuinely don't. But it's happening. It's happening. The third one I've ordered. It's arriving today at some point. And when I tell you I want to put everything aside and just read that book for the entire day. So the third and final one in the series is my most anticipated read at the minute. And when it arrives today, we're going to start it together. It's going to be the first book in this vlog. I can't wait. I genuinely cannot wait. Also, if you've never heard of the series or you're just intrigued to know what the series is actually about, we basically follow Kiva, and Kiva is the prison healer in this prison. It's essentially a death prison where all the prisoners are worked really, really hard and they don't survive very long. Her father basically taught her everything she knows about healing people, so she has a job as the prison healer even though she's also a prisoner in this prison. How many times do I want to say prison or prisoner? So we follow her being the prison healer. Then we also have the rebels who are outside this prison, and they're basically stirring up some trouble. And there's the head of the rebels who's known as the Rebel Queen. One day the Rebel Queen actually ends up arriving at the prison as a prisoner, and she's put forward for this trial of ordeal, which are basically 4 different trials. They're all elemental, so we have fire, air, water, earth. So each trial is based on a different element, and this Rebel Queen is really unwell. She's really sick, so Kiva actually ends up putting herself forward to do these trials on behalf of the Rebel Queen. So much to unpack there already. literally so much going on. But not only are we in a literal death prison, but we've also got these deadly trials that she has to do and get through. I'm gonna leave it there. I'm not gonna say anything else. But it's a YA fantasy, so it's really, really easy to read. It's really fast paced. I really like the way we feel so connected with Kiva. It really feels like we're seeing it through her eyes, which I love. And I just love it. I just absolutely love it. I'm kind of scared that I found my best read of the year already. And we're only in January. That's crazy. That's actually crazy. But weirdly, this actually happened last year as well, because I read Powerless by Lauren Roberts in January last year, and it ended up being my favourite book of the year. And I feel like maybe the same thing is happening. But it's fine. What can we do? What can we do? Anyway, I feel like I've just been rambling on and on. I'll catch up with you guys when my book arrives. It's here. It's here. When I tell you I've been waiting all day for this book. When I first woke up, I checked to see what time it would be arriving. It said something like between 1 and 2 p.m. I'm out of breath because I've just run downstairs to go and get this. And then it changed to between 2 and 4. And then it changed between 2:30 and 4:30. And it's 5 p.m. It's 5 p.m. and it's finally arrived. Let's open it. I'm so excited. I'm so excited. Best believe this is my evening sorted. Oh my goodness. I'm not even ready. I'm not even ready. She's stunning. And let's have a look at it with the other two. I love when a series just matches completely. Perfect. Literally perfect, because we have Lynette Noni, the author, at the top, and then we have a little symbol for each book, and then we have the title, and they just line up perfectly. Incredible, incredible. I'm so excited. So excited. It's signed. What? It's literally signed. I had no idea that that was going to be signed. How fun. I'm literally about to start this right now. Absolutely love about this series is that every single character, even like the side characters, feel like they've been so thought out, and I can so clearly imagine what these characters look like, but how they behave, and even just finding out about their backstory and like where they came from and how they ended up where they are. It's just so interesting, and it just feels so thought out. And I also really like how not everything's revealed straight away. Like, we're finding stuff out about certain characters in book 3 that we met in book 1, and it's just one of those book series where I honestly feel like I know every single one of these characters. It's so good. It's so good already. We're literally not even 100 pages in and things are already kicking off. I just found something out that I thought in the first book, but it just completely slipped my mind because that's not what happened in the first book, and that really caught me off guard because I wasn't expecting that. Even though it had occurred to me, I still wasn't expecting it. I just hadn't put the pieces together. No way, no way. It's about to get so good. It's about to go down. I knew it. I knew it. This is guys, good afternoon. It's now, I was gonna say the next day, but it's not actually the next day because I didn't film anything yesterday. I did read quite a bit, which I'll talk about in a minute, but I was just kind of having a chill day yesterday. It was much more of an editing day than a filming day, so I just didn't get around to updating the vlog. But like I said, I did read a lot yesterday. I got to about halfway through this book and I honestly don't even know how that's happened. I can't even like mentally prepare myself for this series to be done because I genuinely don't know what I'm going to do. I think it's so weird to even imagine reading another series, which is crazy to think because before this month I literally didn't even know these characters, didn't even know this whole world. And I've been absolutely loving it. This is one of those books where I'm really trying to make it last because it's obviously the last one in the trilogy and I don't want it to be over, and I just feel like I'm going to be so sad when it's done and I have no more left to read of this world and these characters. But at the same time, the situation that they are in, I just feel like I have to keep reading. I just have to, because it's just, everything's all wrong. Everything's all wrong, it's all a mess, and I just need to keep reading to see how it's all going to kind of fit back together and how it's all going to be okay again. And they're in a situation now where I just kind of think, every time I think they're going to solve certain problems that they have, they almost do and then they don't. And I'm like, like, how is this even gonna work? How are we gonna get past this? How is everything gonna solve itself? I know that's so vague, but I feel like I can't really say specifics, obviously because this is part of a series and it's the last one in the series as well. But I'm absolutely loving it. I'm loving it. I think I did mention this a little bit before, but the thing that has honestly amazed me about this book is the side characters and just how thought out they feel, and just learning about side characters and how I still feel so connected to the side characters as well as our main girl Kiva. And I just think it's amazing how she's managed to do that, and the tension between Kiva and Jaren. I'm obsessed with them. If you like slow burn romance, then you'll love this series. You'll love it. And the way that she's kind of playing with our feelings throughout all three books regarding them too, it's just done perfectly. But it's also, as a reader, I'm like, give us more, give us more. And I'm really, really excited to carry on reading and to see what's going to happen, because this is also one of those where I don't know what the structure of the book is going to be, and I know the problems that they're facing, but I don't really know what's going to happen. Like, at this point anything could happen, honestly. So I'm going to sit and read for a bit. I'm literally in my pyjamas at like 3 p.m. We're not going to talk about it. Got my cup of tea, as you saw, and I'm just going to chill for a bit, read a bit more, and just live my best life, honestly. It's literally all kicking off. It's the next day, it's the next morning, and I literally only have about 40 pages left of this book, which I cannot even believe that I'm saying that. I feel like I've flown through this whole entire series, but I'm kind of nervous to finish it, kind of nervous. I was reading it last night and I so wanted to just finish it, but I was getting so tired that it wasn't like going in properly, and I was like, no, I can't waste the end of this book because it is the last 40 pages of the whole series, so it's all that I'm gonna get from this series. So I didn't want to rush it. I decided to wait until this morning, so we're gonna finish it. We're gonna finish it together. Something I will say about these books is that when you think that there can't be any more surprises, there literally is. It's got to the point now where I'm like, surely she can't throw anything else in there, because we kind of like know a lot about every single one of these characters now, and like surely there's nothing else to come. And then she literally throws something in there that I'm literally like, how have I not seen that coming? And it's just crazy in the best way. And I love that she just keeps surprising me, honestly. I'm gonna sit now and finish this book, which makes me kind of sad. Something happened that I'm literally refusing to believe. And I feel like I'm going to be really shocked if that is actually the case, because I've just ignored that that's even a possibility. I'm refusing to believe that that's happened. So we're just gonna ignore it. It's all kicking off. It's all kicking off. It's getting crazy. That was a really nice way to wrap everything up. Very, very satisfying. Yeah, I really enjoyed that. I really enjoyed that whole series. I'm honestly going to miss those characters. Hello guys, it's the next day and I finished reading The Blood Traitor and I feel like I can't really say that much about this book just because it is in a series, but it's also the last one in a series as well. It was a really good end to the series. There are slight things that I wish had been different, but again, can't really say anything about that, but there were some things that I just kind of felt sad about. But overall, for a series, it was very satisfying. I love how we got to know these characters really, really well, and then at the end she kind of gave us a last sort of interaction with each character, and I like how in that last interaction it really captured what that character was like and their little quirks and everything. I really liked how that was done. I thought it was really satisfying to read. I think I said this before, but honestly, when you think you know everything and you think there are no surprises to come, she literally keeps throwing surprises in there, and I'm like, how did I think that I knew everything? Silly me. Silly me. I think this is actually probably my least favourite in the series, only because I absolutely loved the first two so much. So the bar was really high, really high. But I'm still gonna give it 4 stars. Like, it was still a really, really good book. I'm just obsessed with this whole world and these characters. It just makes me so happy because I've literally found a new favourite book series. Like, this is honestly, I think, in my like top 3. Which is a bit crazy to say. And best believe I will not stop recommending this. But yeah, for rating, I'm gonna give it 4 stars. I think the second one was a 5-star read and the first one was a 6-star read. So a very solid series altogether. I would say it was a 5-star series overall. I just loved it. I loved every single second of it. And I'm really sad to leave these characters because I just love them and I feel like I got to know them really well. But for my next read, I thought we would choose that together. I recently filmed a video that was a start of the year book tag, and in that I answered some questions that were like most anticipated thriller, romance, fantasy. The Blood Traitor was my most anticipated fantasy, but I thought maybe it would be fun to choose another one from that video. I have my TBR cart behind me, but I also have the pile of books that I got for Christmas on the floor next to me, which is here. Because I don't know about anybody else, but I literally refuse to put them on the cart because I want to keep their newness. I don't know if anybody else does that, but I don't know what it is about it. I just want to keep its newness from Christmas and I just want to hold on to that feeling. So I literally have them in a little pile next to my TBR cart. But I thought we would maybe choose one from here because these are the ones at the minute that I'm probably most excited for and therefore most anticipating. Some options that we have Brain Damage by Frida McFadden, which is one of her early psychological thrillers. We also have The Blighted Stars, which I'm really excited to read, but I feel like I need to be in the right mood for this one because it is slightly different to what I'm used to reading. We have Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman, which is a dark romance, and I've heard amazing things about this one, and this was the one that I put for my most anticipated romance at the minute, just because I keep seeing everybody raving about it, and it's meant to be quite an emotional read, I think, as well. Then we have The Nightingale by Kristen Hanna, which I think I put for a new author that I wanted to read because I have been really anticipating reading a Kristen Hanna book, and this is one that again I see so much hype about. And then the others that are very much on my radar at the minute, we have 2 Lynn Painter books. We have Nothing Like the Movies, which is the second one to Better Than the Movies, and then we also have The Love Wager, which is an adult romance, I believe, and I'm yet to read a Lynn Painter adult romance. I've literally only read YA books from her, so I'm intrigued to see what this one's like. Okay, let's narrow it down. I think this is definitely a potential. The Nightingale, I don't think it's time yet to read this one. I don't know why, I'm just not feeling that one as much. Still Beating, this is definitely an option. The Blighted Stars I think I'm gonna save for when I'm more in a sci-fi mood. And then we have Brain Damage. Because I've literally come out of the Prison Healer world and I literally read those books back to back, it feels weird even thinking about going into a different world. But these are the three that we're going to choose from. Based on the fact that I said it in my video, I'm kind of nearing towards Still Beating, because I did put this down as my most anticipated romance, and I keep looking at it on this pile and just really wanting to read it and see what all the hype is about. So I think this is going to be our next read for this vlog. Exciting, but I'm also kind of nervous, but I'm excited. Understand the situation that they're in. We're basically following two people who cannot stand each other. We have Cora and Cora's soon-to-be brother-in-law, so her sister's fiance. They've basically both been kidnapped and they've woken up in this basement chained to a pole. And obviously they're quite panicked and they're looking around, and then he decides to start singing and she decides to have a quick nap. Closes her eyes, goes to sleep. Where's the urgency? Where's the urgency? I don't understand why we're not desperately trying to get ourselves out of the situation. Do we not need to come up with an escape plan? Like, I understand that this situation is very overwhelming, very traumatic, but the singing, the falling asleep, confused. What I will say is definitely check the trigger warnings for this one, because it is not an easy read. Not an easy read. Given the circumstances that they're in, you can kind of imagine what's happening. But like, some of the stuff I'm like, oh my god. Don't want to be reading it. I feel about this book so far. I really just... Hello guys, it's the next morning. As you saw last night, I started Still Beating by Jennifer Hartman, and I don't even know where to start with this book. Okay, it is intense. It is so intense. The first thing that I want to make so clear about this book is please check the trigger warnings and don't take the trigger warnings lightly, because some of the scenes that are in this book and the experiences that these two main characters go through are very traumatic. They're quite hard to read. I'm just over halfway through. I'm on page 230 and I think there's just over 400 pages altogether, so I'm a little bit over halfway. It is dark. Okay, it is dark. I think I kind of touched on what it was about last night when I started it, but it basically follows our two main characters, Cora and Dean. And Dean is Cora's sister's fiance, so it's her soon-to-be brother-in-law, and they basically end up getting kidnapped one night together and they end up trapped in this basement together. And so it follows their experience in this basement together, but then it also follows kind of the fallout of everything that happened and how these two people are basically bonded for life to each other because they've gone through this experience. They've had this shared traumatizing experience and nobody quite understands what they went through other than them two. So it is a very heavy book. I think that's the best way to explain it. I am finding that I am reading it quite quickly because the writing itself is very easy to read. But obviously what it's about isn't easy to read. So I am getting through it very quickly, but am I enjoying it? I don't know. I genuinely don't know how I feel about it because it's just very heavy. Reading it feels very heavy, but then coming out of the book and when I put the book down, it's still staying with me, and not necessarily in the best way, in a kind of heavy way, like I feel very heavy. It's obviously a very traumatic book to read, and I don't know whether it's one that I'm necessarily enjoying. But I was actually looking at Goodreads reviews and just seeing everybody else's experience reading this, and I was actually quite surprised at how high the rating was, just based on what this book is actually about. The ratings were so high, and the majority of the ratings were 5 stars as well. And I don't know if there's something that I'm missing about this, because this just does not have that 5-star feeling for me at the minute. I know that that could change in the last sort of half or so. I don't know whether it's just because it's so intense, but I don't know. I don't know what I'm missing about this. I do think I will finish this either today, if not today then definitely tomorrow, because like I said, it is very easy to read in terms of the writing style, and I am finding that I am getting through it quite quickly. So we'll see what the second half of this book is like. But at the minute, finding it very intense and don't really know how I feel about it. But I will keep you updated. Whole thing was worth it. And this is one that I really, really wanted to love, and I feel a bit traumatized from it, to be honest. And like some of the reoccurring things, I'm like, surely not, surely not. But little things like the car that he was driving at the time that they got kidnapped. Later on in the book, he's then bought the exact same car. Like the exact same model and everything, and I'm just a bit like, why would you want that? Why would you want that? Why would you want to have any reminder of that whole night? Like, why would you want to do that? And I just feel like there's so many little things that are just reminders of that night that they've kind of tried to turn into something better, or to make it into something else that they remember instead. But I don't know, something just doesn't sit with me about that. I don't know. Like, I kind of get what they're trying to do, but at the same time I'm kind of like, why would you not just want to have like no association with those things, if that makes sense? Like, it's just so many reoccurring things that I realise, and I'm kind of like, oh my god, no, please no. So I have mixed feelings about that. I just don't know. I don't even know if I can rate this book, because it's such a heavy traumatic book that I'm like, what do I even rate that? And I keep coming back to the same question of, did I actually enjoy reading it? Which is just not what you want. But I genuinely don't know if I did. I'm gonna go to bed. And we'll catch up tomorrow when I choose my next read. And hopefully it'll be something a bit lighter than this. Hello guys, good evening. I can't even remember the last clip that I filmed. I think it was last night when I finished Still Beating. I'm pretty sure it was. It's time to choose my next book together. I don't know what's happened, but today I just have not been in the mood to read. I think it's that book, Still Beating. I just feel a bit traumatised from it, to be completely honest. And I feel like it's almost put me in like a book slump, but it's not really a slump. It's just more of a, I don't even know where I go from here. Like, I don't know what kind of book I'm in the mood to read, and I can't even imagine reading a different book. Like, I just feel so, I don't know. It's just left me in a bit of a funk. I think that's what it is. It's not a slump, it's a funk. I was literally looking at my books earlier because I was thinking I need to choose my next read, but I honestly don't even know what I'm in the mood for, and I haven't really been in the mood to read all of today, which is kind of unusual. I have been filming and editing today and everything, so I have been doing that, but even still, I don't know what that book has done to me, but I don't like it. I don't like the feeling. Anyway, I've just got out of the shower, I'm in my PJs, I'm ready to read something. Before I had my shower, I actually asked you guys to choose my next book. I gave you 3 options, and those 3 options are all my most anticipated reads. So the first one we had, The Love Wager by Lynn Painter. I think this is now my most anticipated romance. Then we have Brain Damage by Frida McFadden, which is my most anticipated thriller. And then we have Then There Was One by Wendy Cross, which is my most anticipated YA book. So they're all my most anticipated books. Honestly, they're all pretty equal in my head at the minute, and because I'm in this weird kind of mood, I thought I'd get you guys to choose, and I basically asked which one you guys would rather see me read in a vlog. So let's have a look at what the results are at the minute. I am going to leave it a little bit longer. Okay, at the minute we have a clear winner with nearly 50% of the votes, and that's Love Wager. I only put it up half an hour ago, so I'm going to leave it for 15-20 minutes or so, but it's looking like this one is the winning one at the minute, which I feel like is a good thing, because I do feel like this is going to be fun and uplifting, and I think that's probably exactly what I need right now. I don't know what's happened. I don't know what's happened. It does look like a lot of fun, so I would be really happy with that. And I think I am going to give it 15-20 more minutes, and then we'll see what the results are, but I have a feeling that it's going to be The Love Wager. As you saw, I started this last night and I'm literally over halfway through already. Like, it's so easy to read, so quick, and it's exactly what I needed right now. After reading Still Beating, I feel like this is exactly what I needed. Just something lighthearted and just really fun. And the best way I can describe it is it's literally like a Hallmark film. Like, you have all the kind of cheesy little rom-com vibes, but I'm just loving it. I'm absolutely loving it. It's just so fun, and I'm really enjoying it as just a quick, easy read. And I really like the plot of this one. This one basically follows Hallie and Jack, and it starts off with them meeting, and they basically have this one-night stand together, and then they're both individually persuaded by their friends to go on dating apps, and they end up matching with each other on this dating app, and they basically have messages back and forth. Like, a lot of this is dialogue and a lot of it is the text messages between them. I always find both dialogue and text messages so fast-paced and easy to read. Like, I literally just get through it so quickly, and I feel like it really keeps the momentum of the story going. We basically have this back and forth with them two kind of just being friends and like joking about these dates that they're going on or the people that they've matched with on this app, and then it turns into them deciding to kind of date together but not each other. Like, they agree to plan dates at the same place, so then if the date goes bad, they can basically help each other get out of the situation, and then they go on their own little like friendship date afterwards. So it's a lot of them spending time together and just kind of joking around. Like, their friendship at the minute is just so fun, and they really kind of bounce off each other, and that's what I really like. Like, they're always just joking around with each other, and they basically end up making this bet with each other, which is the love wager, and it's basically a bet on who can find their soulmate, who can find the one first. So they've kind of got this little competition going on with each other at the same time. If you're looking for a really fast-paced, easy, light-hearted read that's just going to be a little pick-me-up and just something that you can get through really quickly, and I definitely recommend this so far. I'm on page 162. I think this is actually quite short as well. Like, I think there's only 290 pages altogether, so it is quite a short little rom-com, but I'm loving it, and I think I probably will finish this today. That's my little update so far. I finished reading The Love Wager by Lynn Painter, and this was just so much fun. Like I said before, it was exactly what I needed, just something really light-hearted, and this was just so fast-paced, so easy to read. It's not very long either, so I literally finished it in like 2 days. And I really like Hallie and Jack. I really like them. I like the way they joke with each other, the way they bounce off each other, but you really kind of get the feel that they're looking out for each other and they actually do like each other, and there's so much tension between them. I also like some of the tropes that were thrown in here, like the fake dating trope. And what I love about the way that this was done was that it actually felt genuine. It didn't feel like this whole book is just based on that trope. It felt very natural for their story and it made sense, and the whole plot wasn't based off of the fake dating trope, if that makes sense. And there was another trope in here as well where the main girl was like, yeah, I've literally never seen this happen in real life, like you only read about this in books. And I was like, I just love that. I love when they do that. I also really liked that a lot of this was dialogue, and if it wasn't dialogue then it was text messages between them, because that just made it so fast paced. And it's one of those books where I literally forgot that I was reading just because I was so invested in their dialogue and, like I said, the way that they joke around with each other. It's just a real feel-good book and I really enjoyed it, and it's definitely one that I would recommend. But rating wise, I think I'm kind of stuck because I kind of think 3 stars is too low but then 4 stars is too high. So I think I'm going to go in the middle. I think we're going to say 3.5 stars, which is a very solid rating. I think 4 stars is too high just because I don't know whether this is going to be one that I necessarily think about loads. But even after having finished it, I kind of do miss these characters. I think it's just because at times it was a bit cheesy, and that's partly why it's not got a high rating, but it's not necessarily cheesy in a really bad way, because I feel like if you know that going into it, it's kind of like a Hallmark film. Like a Hallmark rom-com. That's the exact vibe that this book has. And that actually brings us to the end of this video. Thank you so much for watching. I feel like this is going to be a bit of a longer one, so if you're still here, you're amazing. Thank you so much. I love you. With the theme of this video, I would absolutely love to know your most anticipated read this year, and I really hope you enjoyed watching. Please let me know if you did, and I will hopefully see you in my next one.